Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. My name is Sifu Bryan. I'm a North Mantis Kung Fu teacher with over 30 years experience. It is the 19th of March 2023. Let's get straight to my quote of the day. Good times create weak people. Weak people create bad times. Bad times create strong people. Strong people create good times. Anthony Robbins, phenomenal quote. I really like this quote. Really good quote. And it's so true because we in the West, we've had it so good for such a long time. Now there's hard times coming, and to be honest, a lot of it was seen, but people were doing this and this and this, believing everything the government tells you. But anyway, but because now we're feeling the effects of the so-called help of the government that's made us poorer, but anyway, we're now going through some really tough times, and it's not going to get easier. You know, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not going to get easier, but if we embrace it and we rise to the challenge, then we will overcome it. Or as I say, like a duck floating on water. The duck, it seems like it's just flowing nicely, but underneath it's paddling like hell. So it's paddling like anything. I think that's what a lot of us are going to be doing. You know, we're going to look like we're just flowing through these disasters or whatever, but underneath we're like swimming like hell, you know. But it's a really good quote. Love that quote. And just to go on from what I've discovered over a period of time through alternative media, because I don't listen to the propaganda of the BBC. You know, they tell us one thing and it's a completely different picture if you go to the actual countries. But anyway, Ukraine. But anyway, so according to a report by the Times of Israel, before the Silicon Valley Bank collapse, what they're saying here is that 7 executives sold off large shares of stock, while mainstream media, supposed to be our good friends, tells its audience to invest in them. On March the 9th, the day before the collapse, Israel took Israel's two largest banks pulled out $1 billion out of SVB. They advise their clients to do the same. And the next day, there was a run on the banks, and Silicon Valley banks collapsed. The next day, the employees were all paid their bonuses before they closed down and the bank was overtaken. So there's so much corruption in this, unbelievable. So they got the nod to say, hey, you know, something's going down, yeah, pull your money out. And obviously the small man got stuffed. He got stuffed. Now what they're saying is that their funds are going to are insured for $250,000, but obviously these big boys, they've got a lot more money than that in these banks, and they're not telling us the full story. All in all, because of the knock-on effects of this bank collapsing and there being a run on the banks, there was 104 banks went down worldwide. So this was a massive knock-on effect. Someone said that it was actually the 18th biggest bank in the world. I said, that's not that big. Well, it's a major bank. you know, Silicon Valley. 73 banks went down in America. The biggest one in Europe that went was Credit Suisse. And they compared that to the disaster in 2008. But it's just for us to keep our eyes open, be alert, be aware. Don't just get our news from the so-called mainstream fake media. You know, look at alternative news channels that are pumping out the truth. There's also another thing that is developing. I've known about this for probably about 2 years or over a year and a half, definitely. And it's called BRICS. And what this is that there's 5 powerful countries have gotten together and they're forming their own what is it? They're forming like a gold standard, basically. And like I've been saying for quite a long time, we're going back to the gold standard. And these 5 countries, they call it sorry, they call it BRICS. That is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. These 5 countries are already trading amongst each other, and what they're doing, they're preparing for the demise basically of the dollar, because as the dollar gets weaker and weaker and weaker, it loses its power, loses its stature. I mean, at the moment America is a laughing stock. I'm sorry about that, Americans, but yeah, not even Americans would agree, you know. These 5 big countries are forming this gold standard. We used to have it back in 1971, and then they moved us off the gold standard and put us onto this fiat currency, printing money like water, and it's backed by nothing. So it being backed by something, so the banks can't now just print something without it being backed by something. To me, that sounds a lot more better and more common sense, and our money will actually mean something, will value something. There are a lot of countries that have actually joined this now. I can't read it off the top of my head because there is a lot, and you'll be surprised at some of the countries that have actually joined it. So the US dollar is doing that. But anyway, just a little insight, but keep your eyes open. I personally look at investing some of my money into gold, and start the process before we make that final transfer. But I'm not obviously I'm not a financial advisor, but I would definitely recommend gold. Yeah, invest in gold. Look at Glint. That is a company in the UK. It's regulated, and you'd be very interested in seeing what they do. It's a phenomenal company. I don't get any kickbacks, by the way, but anyway, maybe they need to start offering that. But look into that. But gold is the way. The banks are doing it. They're buying up enough gold. These countries have been buying up gold since 2008. I think a lot of these guys, like Russia, China, they knew what was going on. Yeah, but we're always the last ones to know. So do your research, guys. But I'm going to go back to this quote. Phenomenal quote. Good times create weak people. Weak people create bad times. Bad times create strong people. Strong people create good times. So guys, get strong. Embrace what's going on. I mean, at the moment the media's showing us a lot of negativity, but there's a lot of positive things going on in the background, because they are changing over the monetary system. We can now start to see it, but unfortunately they have to collapse the old system, and that's what's going on now. But the media's not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that. So be wise and do your investigation, do your due diligence, and yeah, we'll rock and roll. But I will say this, since I've been invested in gold, the gold that I've invested in, it has gone up considerably. Now, if I left that in the bank, my money would have gone up. It would have gone down dramatically. So, just a good tip there. Anyway, on that note, don't forget to like, share, and comment. And of course, subscribe if you're new around here. But guys, take care. Stay blessed.